Your turn, Yugi boy.
What is up, guys? This is AlintheaYoh coming at you today with a debut deck profile of my Subterror Metalfoes. Now, there's been interesting stuff with this deck. I've kind of gone back and forth between the ritual version and this one, and personally I found this one to be the most consistent and explosive. So without further ado, I'll go straight into it and explain my choices. So starting us off, we have the 3 Subterror Archer. This card is one of the brand new cards that came out in the Invasion Vengeance set, and wow, it is so good. Its effect is basically at the start of the damage step you can do a Erin-like effect and to shuffle the face down monster into the deck, and also when it's destroyed you get to special out a Subterror monster in face down defense position. So it is an Earth level 3 in Fairy, 1600 attack isn't too bad at all for a level 3, and overall it's just a really amazing card. With the Metalfoes being able to pop this and then start your combos off, it's a really important card and I really do like it, and that's basically why I've gone for the Metalfoe version. Obviously because of this, but because I can get out some of the lower the lower Subterror monsters out of my hand as well. So yeah, Subterror Archer is a really good card. Then we have the Subterror Nemesis Warrior. Warrior is obviously a really good card as well, simply because it can recur itself out of the graveyard and just in general apply pressure. It's a nice level 4 Earth, so it's a Glow Bulb target for the Naturia Beast. I obviously do play Naturia Beast and Glow Bulb. You'll see that in a little bit. But the Subterror Nemesis Warrior is really, really good. One of the key pivotal cards of the deck, if you ask me, and that's why it is at 3. So then going on to the big Subterrors, I play 1 of the Metalfoes. The reason why I play 1 is because I feel that 2 is just a little bit too cloggy right now. In this Metalfoe version, there are obviously ways you can get out a simple tribute summon or with the Archer, but because it is searchable, because I can do all of these things, I don't really see the benefit of playing more than 1. And I originally did have it at 2, but now it's at 1. It's just much better in my opinion, and I do prefer it much like that. So then we have 2 Stalagmo. So Stalagmo's effect is much better than Metalfoes. If you didn't know what Metalfoes is, it was basically just flip all face up monsters to face down defense position, so that was that. But Stalagmo means that I can discard a card to draw 2, so it fuels my graveyard, gets out some dead cards, like if I had Metalfoes in my hand and I had no way to get it out. It just means that I can make some really interesting plays with it, but being you know, a big body, a 2/8 body, being able to draw off its effect is really, really solid, and at 2 is a perfect number in my opinion. 1 I don't see it too much, but 2 is good and 3 is far too cloggy. Next up we have the level 7 Subterror. It's pretty good because you can target an opponent's monster and banish it. It is obviously a nice card, but the good thing about it is a level 7, so I can pendulum summon it with my full Metalfoe scales being 1 to 8. Means that I can obviously dip into the extra deck as well with Xyz, which you'll see a little bit later on, but having it at 2 for that reason is really good. I think even if you didn't run the Metalfoes, I think having 2 anyway is good, but just in general I do like it, and it's fine at 2 because, as I said, I can make some really fun plays. If I really wanted to concentrate on like level 7s, rank 7s, or level 8 tuners, level 8 synchros, sorry, I might bump it up to 3. Then we have a Kraken, one of the new cards. I only run 1, and it's basically you can flip it and target set number of cards up to the number of Subterror cards that you control, and you can destroy them. Works really well with obviously your own Metalfoe spell cards and trap cards, so it's something to keep in note. But even with that synergy, I still only run 1 because that's kind of all it really is good for, to be honest, and you don't really need any more than that. So going on to the Metalfoes, I run 2 Volflames, so I'm running, I think it's 10 different Metalfoes, and equal, I like to keep the balance of 5 level 1s and 5 level 8s. So I'm running 2 Volflame, because it's obviously a level 7, I can Xyz summon it with it as well. Then I'm running 2 Gold Driver, because that is one of my level 1s, it's a decent level 4 target as well. I'm running 3 Silverids, because you'll see in a little bit, but this is to balance out the scales. This is a level 1, and I'm running, I'll just show you now, 1 Stealing. So this is because of the new Metalfoe that I will show you next, but this is just basically, as I said, to balance out the numbers. I don't want to have like 6 level 8s, scale 8s and 4 scale 1s, because it just, the amount of times I do that, I didn't realise I had to put that amount in. I would just keep drawing the dead ones, and I don't want multiple scales of level 8 or level 1. So I want, you know, a nice even split, so that's why I run 3 on 1 of that. And then we have one of the brand new Metalfoes, Bishmugir. Gear is a really good one because it's kind of one of the only pendulum effect monsters. I believe it is the first as well for the TCG. And its effect is basically when it's on the field and destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add a Metalfoe monster from your deck to your hands in the end phase. So not only can it bring cards from the normal effect of the Metalfoes by popping a face-up card and you set one, in the end phase if it is on the field and it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can then special summon, you can then add a Metalfoe monster from your deck to your hand. So it's pretty decent. You might say it's a little bit slow, but I like the consistency of it that it adds. It just does add that little bit more, and it's pretty decent overall. Then finally the tuners, I have one Jet Synchron and one Global. Jet Synchron helps me get dead or the dead Subterrors out of my hands, and also just Global allows me to mill it, and you know they're just pretty good at that, so that's why I run them. So going on to the spells, we have 3 Hidden City. Of course we're running Hidden City, it's like the best card in the deck. Being able to add a Subterror monster from your deck to your hand, once per turn change face down defense position to face up. It's just so many different combos that you can do. It really kickstarts the whole thing off. And yeah, I don't really say too much about it, to be honest, because you run 3, you need to run 3. Alongside that, you run 3 terraforming as well. You just want to get to the Hidden City as quickly as possible, and being able to run 3 terraforming does just that. So I'll get rid of them. Next up we have 2 Twin Twister. Twin Twister is obviously a great card, hitting the back row, getting those dead Subterrors out of your hand, and just in general being really decent. So Twin Twister's good. It's just good as well if your opponent's being a little bit of a horrible person by putting up horrible things. Speaking of being a horrible person, we have 2 Book of Eclipse. Now Book of Eclipse is obviously seeing a lot of play recently in the meta, simply because it just flips down all those annoying monsters, those any floodgate monsters or anything like that, but also Book of Eclipse works in your favour as well, because you get to flip down your own monsters and then generate advantage off that. So that's mainly why I'm running Book of Eclipse. It's just overall a really good card, and yeah, it's just double bonus. It hits the meta and it really helps you. Then obviously we're running the 1 Metalfoe Fusion. I'm running Metalfoes, I'm running the Fusion, so it's standard you run the Metalfoe Fusion, one of the best fusion cards in the game. Now I could technically run the new Metalfoe Fusion, they basically El Shaddai Fusion from hand, but I just kind of didn't really like it in testing, and I just preferred the 1. I'm not running anything like Pot of Desires, so unless my opponent like DD Crows the Fusion, then I'll be able to reuse it multiple times. So going on to the Metalfoe traps, we have combination and we also have counter. Just running 1, so I have 3 targets in the deck for the Metalfoe effects, and yeah, I kind of just like that. The only one that I consider bumping up is combination. Counter is good, but combination is better for kind of all-purpose situations. So yeah, having those 2 is nice. And then we have the 2-dimensional barrier. Dimensional barrier, as I've stated multiple times, this format is a really good card, and if you do have a chance to get your hands on it and you are playing competitively, I would really recommend it. Just being able to call anything and lock your opponent out is really good, considering as well this deck is a little bit slow. The fact that I am adding the Metalfoes does speed the deck up, but it's still a slow deck, so being able to get that advantage upon your opponent, even just 1 turn, is really solid. And then I'm running the 3 Solemn cards, you know, the Solemn Brigade of this format, 2 strike and 1 warning. Don't need to say too much about that once more. That is 42 cards in the main deck, I do believe. So going on to the extra deck, we have the 1 Full Metal Alka-Heist. Alka-Heist is one of the brand new Metalfoe cards. It's just really good, being able to just steal your opponent with a relinquish-like effect and take its defense. It's just so good, and it's not restricted to just having 1 equip on it. You can also use fusion. You can also use the cards that equip to it as fusion materials as well, which is really nice. So I really do like this card, and just in general, it really helps with the deck. Next up we have 1 Mithrilium. Mithrilium is another brand new card as well, and its effect is really good. If you just look at it, it says you can target 2 Metalfoe cards in your graveyard and 1 card on the field. Shuffle those targets from the graveyard into the deck, and if you do, return the target on the field to the hand. and then it's kind of standard effect when it's destroyed. You can special summon a Metalfoe from the deck. So it's really decent. 2/6 attack is really good as well. Being able to just shuffle away those problem boss monsters, maybe like a Dark Claw or something like that, is really, really good. And that's why I really do like it. So that's why I'm running one. Next up we have one Adamanti, sorry. It's just a kind of standard Metalfoe, as well as the Auric that I do run. I don't run the Crimson just because I have like tough extra deck space, and while that one is decent, having to use like 3 materials for it is a little bit annoying. Now obviously that does get better in the fact if you can combo off with Alka-Heist and using your opponent's monsters that are attached to it, but the chances of that, as well as then having that setup play and so on and so forth, is getting thinner and thinner and thinner in my opinion. So that's why I don't run it. I'm not too bothered by it, but I have lots of other, space for other cards. So going on to the extra deck of the Synchros, we have the one Omega. Omega is really good, obviously. The one Crystal Wing, now you can make Crystal Wing with things like the Coral Dragon and then the level 2 Metalfoes, but there are ways to make Coral Dragon in this deck. You can, I don't really say too much about it, but you can see how it goes, because a lot of people sometimes say, well, how'd you do it? Well, Coral Dragon's one of the examples. But yeah, so we run the Crystal Wing because obviously it's really good. As I said, the Coral Dragon you can go into with multiple different things, but using Kraken and a level 1 is obviously very good. Then Churia Beast, because you can make Beast in this deck, and that's kind of disgusting if you set up a board as well. The one Chamanara, the reason why I'm running this is just to try and steal some games, and I just do like it in general, so that's why I'm running it, and it's easy to summon basically. The one Herald of Arclight, this is just one of my little mean techs, simply because I do have like Archer and I do have the Metalfoe level 3s, and you can make a Herald of Arclight and just be extra mean to your opponent. Then going on to the final Xyz, we have 2 of the level 7s. I have a Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon and a 1 Big Eye. Loving my my misprint there, I do love it. As I said, I have 4 level 7s, sorry, that I run in the deck, which is 2 of the Subterror and 2 Volflame. So you can see how I can summon these. They are game-changing cards, mainly to apply pressure and just to destroy your opponent. So you can see how I do run them, and they really do make sense in my opinion when you look at how I run the deck. Then we have the standard Utopia cards, because the Utopia X Lightning is just too good this format. And then finally we have the 1 Castel, just to get rid of any annoying cards that your opponent might have. So that is it, guys. That is the Subterror Metalfoe deck profile. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think of the deck. How did you think this deck support was, this format? And the new set. Do you think it was really good, or do you just think it was a bit meh? Which do you prefer, the Subterror or the Spirals? Do you think which one's the best archetype currently in the TCG? So I said, let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure to give me a like, comment, subscribe, and I shall catch you guys later.